Welcome to What's Up Wednesday, episode 107. We are coming at you live from Southern Florida near Fort Pierce, and I am delighted to have you here. My name is Scott. Howdy. If we're meeting for the first time, pleasure to have you here, and great to be in your ears and eyeballs tonight. We do this every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, to talk about kind of what's going on in your life and my life in terms of camper van travel. It's a live Q&A. It's a community discussion. Top of mind for me the last few days has been the Oasi 540 from Wingamm. It's imported by Italy. So I wanted to share some thoughts with you tonight. Let me give you a quick rundown of the program. I see a lot of folks in here already. This is so awesome. I've had to put my glasses on because I am so tired I can hardly see straight. And I made the mistake of using bug screens, turning on lights. I'm at a Harvest Host farm, and the place is filled with little gnats. I tried my best to Windex them, but I didn't get them all. Okay, so here's the program tonight. We're going to change things up just a little bit, and we're going to get right into the meat of the matter after I show you where I'm coming at, and that is Oasi, not really versus camper van, but kind of the differences. I really don't like direct comparisons because it just never works well. Libation Live, we're definitely doing that in about a half hour because I'm at a winery, and Summer Crush. Who hasn't had a summer crush? Might have been a few years for some of you. Yep, me too. And we have a song of the week by Mason Mike. This is Get Real. So I did this poll before the Florida RV Super Show about a week ago in terms of what were folks expecting to see. Now, at that point when the survey went live, there was 183 votes, and folks were really expecting to see new, innovative floor plans, lower prices. I posted this survey, the same questions on what did people see. What did people see from last week's 2023 Florida RV Super Show? And I'm kind of happy to see that people did see new, innovative floor plans. They did see some lower prices, but they also saw improved availability, which usually impacts pricing, right? If they got a bunch of vans sitting around, then it's time to get the prices lower to move some of the vans. So that was good to see. Let's go this way. Camper van tips. I am really happy. We're getting some really good tips in from you. I'm keeping a log, and we're going to hopefully start this next month. We'll see. I'm a couple months behind. What we like to do is share tips for van travel in particular. Many of the great tips have come from you. Awesome. And I've implemented them, including bug zappers, which I'll be getting out tonight after the show here. Be more effective than Windex probably. And if you feel like the spirits moved you tonight and you want to give a little jingle in a jar, we certainly do appreciate your tips. It goes directly to my Libation Live habit. No doubt about it. I have one of those. So don't feel obligated unless you're having fun tonight, and give us a thumb up. It's just been a whirlwind week. January always is because of the Super Show. I mentioned this earlier. I'm coming at you from a Harvest Host. This is Summer Crush. It's a red wine, kind of on the sweet side, but they kind of flavor it with some oak chips while it sits in the stainless steel tanks. So it's pretty cool. Excited to share that with you. And, of course, your questions all about Wingamm Oasi. Again, that's super top of mind for me. If you weren't aware, Sunday night of this week, just a couple days ago, I spent, for the first time ever, a YouTube channel stayed the night in the USA in the Wingamm Oasi. And I spent about 16 hours with that vehicle. So I am way more experienced with it than most YouTubers, just kind of doing a quick walkthrough. And I'm not sure any other American has slept in there except for maybe some of the Wingamm staff. I even checked with Roy. He's never even spent the night in the rig. He took a nap once. So I might be the only one that's actually overnighted in that thing. Now it was, anyway, so we'll take your questions about that. Here's some topics. If you're a little needing some help on topics, any of this is fair game. I'm pretty familiar with a lot of it because I'm in just starting next month, my 4th year of full-time in my Winnebago Travato 59 GL. I just love to talk about this so much. It's just so great. And it's really a community discussion. So don't feel obligated to just listen to me and look at me. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. And this is really what this is. It's a go small, live large community discussion. I am just a sage on the stage in front of the camera. So feel amongst to type in and amongst yourselves in the chat field. And please let us know if you are joining for the first time. Type in NEW, and they will give you a special shout out here in the live. All right, so let me show you where I'm coming at you from. We're turning things up just a little bit tonight because I want to just get jumped into the meat of the conversation, which is the Oasi. I'll take a deep breath. All right, where am I coming at you from? I always get excited. This is my van. This is Miss Lily. She has 104,200 miles on it. It's Winnebago Travado. I'm at a Harvest Host site. This is what's so amazing about Harvest Host is it takes you places you wouldn't go, to be in locations you wouldn't normally park in. I'm actually in a palm grove. What makes it great about a van is because they're like, hey, do you need any of the power stuff we charge for that? I'm like, nope, I've got a lithium system powered by Volta, which I'm running off of right now. I don't need any of that. So where's the shade? That's what I would like. So they put me in the shade, which is pretty awesome. And are you ready for this? That's what it looked like when I was finishing up the show tonight. And before the show, I took a little rest. Pretty cool, right? And if I didn't have a van, this is where I'd be parked with all the other RVs that were kind of juicy or leaving some juice for the night. So this is what makes a van so easy to travel in. Is I don't need to be over there. And if you're lithium equipped, you don't need the power, which is pretty amazing. So let me show you where this is located. This is in Fort Pierce, near Fort Pierce, Florida. So about 2 hours from home base, West Palm Beach. I'll return there tomorrow. And when I depart for the Van Life Gathering, which is next weekend, right? Did I have that right? Not this weekend, but coming weekend. I am sayonara to Florida until next holidays. So pretty excited about that. Florida's kind of a funny looking state. So I just want to show you what this looks like in relativity to the state. Now the top arrow there, talking with some of the Harvest Host folks, apparently SpaceX is launching a rocket tonight. Now, if I'm up at 4:30 in the morning or 4-ish, something in the morning, which I am typically, I can actually see this probably once it gets up into the sky a bit. So I'm not staying up for it, but if I happen to wake up, now I just tricked my brain, right? That's one of the great things about the Atlantic coast of Florida is there's a lot of space action. Weather, let me show you this. This is pretty amazing. Endless summer here in southern Florida, 82 degrees today. It's going to cool down to the high 60s tonight, but it's pretty wintry everywhere else in the United States. Even Dallas got a little cool weather. I'm sure they're happy about that. Again, let's talk about gasoline prices here in the area and real estate. Gasoline's actually gone up since I traveled out of Tampa, St. Petersburg, which was about $3 a gallon. Over here, it's nearing $3.40-ish, about a 50-cent spread. You really need to use this app if you're not. This Gas Buddy on the left. And just for curiosity on real estate pricing. Now, this is not really a very good map because there's some homes by the tennis club that are going for $500,000 to $1.5 million. But a lot of these are farm parcels, and there's really a lot of land going with these. So, for a couple million to lots of millions, you can buy some land in this area, which, by the way, is getting really popular. Fort Pierce is really becoming a hotspot in Florida. All right. So let me do this. Let's shift gears. What I want to do is talk about the Oasi and get some of your questions. Let me just scan real quick. It looks like we have, if I click this, what happens? Nothing. I'm going to give a shout out to Matt right away. Where are you? So this is the question format we like to use right here. So 3 asterisks followed by 3 question marks followed by your question helps me see it more quickly and answer it more quickly. And if you're feeling generous, so Matt, thank you very much. You have paid for my bottle of Libation live tonight. That gets you elevated, and I would say even front of the line, and you get a jingle in a jar. Thank you, sir, for your donation. You literally paid for my Libation live tonight, which is pretty good. I'm going to share that with you here in just a moment. So let me scan for a couple Oasi-specific questions, and then we will get into the let me know where you're coming from. That's always fun. We'll get into the meat of the matter here. Sharon has a question. Did you get a chance to look at the Road Trek Willow Sage unit? What did you think of the interior paint scheme? I did not know there was a Willow Sage unit on the Road Trek. Now, I awarded Best of Show to the Pivot on Road Trek by Road Trek. I didn't step into those exterior paint schemes, kind of those weird, pastel green and pastel blue on the outside. So maybe they made them on the inside. So I don't know. I did not to answer your question specifically. Okay, looking for a Wingamm question here. Then we'll get into this. The bugs inside my van. Let's see. So here's Bill and Joe been able to get some needed rest. No, I have slept really. No, great seeing the show. Watch all your videos, binge watching. Oh, I can't wait to see the roundup. Yeah, the roundup is or the Vanbury's coming up really soon. Okay, so let me shift gears here, and we're going to talk about the Oasi. So we're doing a lot of content on this van because, again, of our kind of exclusive access to this. I just really want to make hay while the sun is shining, so say the farmers. So tonight what I want to give you is impressions, while these are fresh in my head, talk about the differences in floor plan and Oasi versus van, because it's a pretty big difference. The more I am editing these videos and remembering what's going on, I just want to share this with you. So if you are Oasi curious, you're going to like this. And if you've made a decision on a van, you're going to like this too. So there we go. So let me talk about impressions. I'll show you some pictures here. So we've probably seen these before. The impressions on this rig was, in my book, not like a van at all. It felt like a class B plus, like a leisure travel van, in the sense that it was wide, it was tall, it was clean lines, and a bird's eye view from down below. What I thought is if somebody is on the larger size and really cannot fit physically in a van comfortably, one or two people, that they really should consider something like this. I didn't quite get the measurement on the aisleway here. I'll zoom back in for you, but it was huge. I passed Roy, one of the Wingamm employees, is a pretty big guy. He's like 6 foot. I'm going to guess he's 180-ish pounds, in pretty good shape. He and I passed this hallway many times trying to get the rig set up. So the first thing out of the gate for me, impression-wise, is that this is not a van. Although it's on a van chassis, it's a cutaway with a fiberglass shell put on top of it, and because of that, they're able to do things you can't get away with in a van. So competition-wise, you'd be looking at a Regency RV, these are travel vans, anything kind of a B plus with a fiberglass cap over the dome, or over the fiberglass cap over the cab. It was really roomy. The second impression I had from this is that if you are a fan of the 59K floor plan, where in my opinion, and that's all it is, you're kind of living in your bedroom because the beds are always there. That is not the case with this rig. The impression instead that I got was you're like in the living room at a house where the kitchen overlooks a big family room and there's a fireplace and a big TV. So it's one big room, but the kitchen is front and center to that living space. To me, this is what this rig feels like. And if you are looking for the space interior and you don't want to see your bedroom all the time, then you should, in my opinion, consider this rig. Because that was probably the biggest aha I got, was you're not living in a bedroom here. You are living in a family room, and it's big enough for two people to move about this van really easily. And the table here, let me zoom in for you. You're going to see this in the video we have posting on Friday. This is all about the great room, that video on Friday night coming out. This table, it's a little different shape now. It's more rectangular versus oval. It actually moves back and forth and pivots. That matters a lot. I didn't realize it until I'm sitting at the table. I have it set for dinner. And again, if you're on the larger size and you need to get out from behind the table because you're sitting on the sofa, you unsnap the table and you roll it forward probably at least 6 inches, maybe even more. So again, if you want the van experience from a space footprint exterior, but the van just feels super cramped and uncomfortable, this rig should be on your list because of the extra space inside this thing provides. Just saying. All right, let me shift gears and talk about this thing. Oh my God, this thing was unbelievable. Now, I've had a lot of comments and people are like, yeah, so what, almost, right? I'm telling you, this is like the magic of the Murphy bed in the Travado 59G floor plan. The bed is 100% out of the way until you need it. And you literally pull this thing down. It doesn't take hardly any effort at all. And voila, you have a really big bed. I can't remember the measurements off the top of my head. We go into it. I measure everything around this bed, the height from the bed to the ceiling, the bed to the floor. Everything gets measured. It's pretty sizable. What's amazing is it doesn't wiggle. I was kind of moving around, tossing and turning. The van wiggled, but because of the proprietary hinges that Wingamm puts on this thing, the bed platform doesn't move at all. The whole van moves if you're bouncing around up there. It holds 700 pounds. Somebody was saying in a comment on this that the bed was wimpy and underrated and blah, blah, blah. Probably never having seen one, never even slept in one. I have. And I checked with the Wingamm team. That bed platform holds 700 pounds. So if you're on the larger size and you reach about 300 pounds, you could probably have a good night's sleep up there. It's pretty amazing. And because you're suspended several feet off the ground, it feels literally like you're at a studio apartment, looking down out of the loft into maybe the kitchen, which was a surreal experience. I just laid there for a long time, just kind of feeling that. I try to convey it in the bedroom video that hopefully you've seen. If not, go back and see it. It's pretty amazing. The skylights, you're going to love them or hate them, probably. The one right over the bed, you're probably going to close up, unless it's a beautiful moonlight or something like that. Daytime, you can close all these up, but the fresh air was pretty amazing. It started to rain, but I got to tell you, it's an out-of-this-world sleeping experience, elevated in your rig. Never had anything like that in my... Now, maybe some of the people have Class Cs that have a big bunk up above the cab. Maybe they have something like that, but my guess is they don't have these skylights. So this, again, the open airiness of this is over the top. And then when the lights go out, it even changes further. It was just the most amazing experience to be suspended in bed in this rig. It was so different. It was private. It was quiet. And if you got folks going with you, you can put the bed up down below. We show you that in the video. So what's cool about this, you can sleep seat 4 in 3-point seat belts. You can sleep 4 in a rig that's smaller by several feet than the Winnebago Travato. It was stunning. What else do I tell you about this? I had a couple questions on, can we reach the cabinetry? So let me go back a couple of frames here. This is pretty good since daylight. So it's kind of a yes and no answer. So when the bed is down, it's going to be hard unless you climb up on the bed to access the contents of the cabinets nearest the bed. Now, if you're at the other end of the cabinets here, kind of back by where the coffee pot is and the induction cooktop, you can access those with the bed down pretty easily. But once the bed is down, you're kind of done for the night. So you need to sort of plan ahead a little bit. And you access the bed via the ladder. There you can see the 2 latches, or just step on the sofa seat and bounce right up. If you're somewhat athletic, you'll have no problem. If you're in pretty good physical shape, you have no problem. It's a little bit of a yoga move, climbing the ladder. There's no railing, so it's kind of like this. It's probably a muscle memory situation more than anything. So the great room, amazing. It's like a family room. You have 3 living spaces, the great room, the bedroom, which we're looking at, and this room right here, which is the bathroom. I cannot tell you how stunning this bathroom was because it felt so residential. You're going to see in the bathroom video that's coming up, the sink size, like from side to side of the sink, is 16 inches. Now think about that for a minute. 16 inches, and you have all that extra space to put makeup, shaving gear, getting ready in the morning stuff. It felt like a bathroom with a vanity. Humongous amounts of storage. I couldn't believe it. The shower, you'll see me demonstrate the shower without water, and I can't believe how big the space was. That window is not the right window for this particular unit. The big downside for me, many of you will know, is the cassette toilet, which is a big downer for me. But the bathroom was just, I couldn't believe the difference. And you'll see these in the video on the differences I have coming out. So that was my, again, impressions. Some of this may be new, some of this may be rehashed, but I really like the rig for a lot of reasons. But it just stuns me is that all of that goes into something 17 feet 8 inches long, the same basic size as a Honda Odyssey. It's really pretty stunning because of these few extra inches on either side and completely rethinking what the inside of an RV should be from a floor plan functionality standpoint. That was prevalent throughout. The build quality was stunning. Wait till you see some of these pictures. Everything got a laminate on it. So if you want to drill holes in things, which I've done a few times, it's going to be, you really want to think it through because even with wood, you can kind of hide it a little bit after you remove the screw. But in this thing, you'll never have the same thing again. So I'll be using a lot of stuff I use to hang my stuff, which is the mounting putty. Gorilla is the brand I'm using these days. It is the best by far. Okay, we got some super chats coming in. Before I shift gears on floor plan, let me give some shout outs here. You all are really helping me out tonight. I appreciate that. Let's give a shout out to, oh, y'all got something to say tonight. This is so great. So Benjamin, thank you so much for super chat. Appreciate that, sir. Thank you goes toward my Libation Live habit. And for those of you that are seeing me at the Florida Van Life Gathering, I have got quite a collection of Libation Live to be sharing. Craig, thank you so much for your super sticker. Appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much. And then Bill and Joe, thank you so much. So generous. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. We're going to have a great time in 2 weeks. Well, less than 2 weeks. Pretty crazy. Okay, a lot of questions. Let me just get through this really fast, and then we'll get into the meat of the matter. We're doing Libation Live in about 10 minutes because I am ready for one. Again, I had to do the tasting, of course, right? Okay, let's talk about the floor plan. I think this is a really big distinction. And I don't like doing direct comparisons because my spouse compared to your spouse, you're always going to say, but my spouse is better, and you're right. Because I shouldn't be comparing my spouse to your spouse. But there are differences that I think need to be pointed out, and this is what I want to spend a few minutes on. Let me zoom in here for you. So the top one is the Oasi. The bottom two are the Winnebago Travado because it's the best-selling camper van in North America. So there, thank you again for the super chats. On the left, on the bottom row, that's a 59G floor plan. On the right, the most copied, best-selling camper van floor plan in America, North America. That's the 59K. And on top again is the Oasi Wingamm. You can see the distinction that a van cutaway chassis with a molded body on top, the difference it makes. The Travado builders and the van builders are completely constrained by the insides of the actual steel van, not a limitation with like the Oasi. So you can see where the front cab mirrors are, and if you trace that back, where those beige elements are, that's the actual end of the van. Those protruding elements are the few inches extra on either side that enables all the magic to happen. So again, if we kind of look at the Oasi in some detail here, again, kind of analyzing what we've talked about already, no bed visible until you need the bed. The table collapses into a bed if you need to sleep a few more folks. The galley is always front and center. You're always looking at it. And the bathroom, humongous, stored in the corner and completely out of the way, and huge volumes of closet space. Now let's kind of juxtapose this to the Travado 59G, where the bed is out of the way until you need it. So you got this long runway hallway and garage storage in the back of the 59G like I have. You have 4 very distinct living areas in the Travado 59G. When the bed is down, that's the bedroom. It's private. You don't have to close all your windows. It's a very distinct space in the van, sleeping environment. You don't feel like you're sitting in the middle of the van because you're not. Much like the Wingamm. You're way up above. Nobody can see you. You can't see out really. And that's kind of the deal. Bathroom, very distinct space in the Travado 59G. And the galley, if you're cooking with the bed up, you're in the galley, just like in a boat. You're not turning around and there's the chairs. You're turning around and there's the fridge, a humongous fridge. Did I mention it has a freezer too? A humongous fridge and freezer. Distinction, pantry, fridge, freezer, galley, cooktop, extension. I mean, you're in the galley, room number 3. And then you kind of move to the front, right? And this is the great room, which they've changed from what I have. I'm not a big fan of the change, but nonetheless, it is a little bit more open space and you can do some things. very distinct space to eat, work, what have you, right? The most popular floor plan in a van in North America is the 59K. A small galley, a small fridge behind the driver's seat, 2 twin beds, always present, wet bath in the back. I would say fairly cramped, certainly in comparison to the Oasi. And because of the table situation, you're kind of having to do this interesting way to eat, work. You're kind of using this lagoon table, airplane tip out table. There's part of the countertop that comes out by the cooktop there. So there's not really a table to do things without doing a lot of moving around. My opinion, I've never stayed the night in a thing, but I spent a lot of time and I'm talked to a lot of you that have them. Huge distinction. It does feel more open, but you're roaming around in your bedroom. Big distinction, right? So again, if you are needing the room you want of a K floor plan, and you want a bigger galley, you want maybe a same-size fridge, you want a bigger bathroom, you want a bigger bed situation, then I think the K is going to be knocked off its peg a little bit because of what the Oasi offers. That said, how are we doing so far? Are you with me or completely disagree with me? So again, pros and cons to both. You give up a lot to be in a van, inside of a van. I actually prefer my van to an Oasi. I'm going to show you that in a second. Why? Because everything is just where it needs to be. The floor plan perfectly fits my needs. But I'm going to show you my dream van here in a second. Some of you may have seen this, because I think this is where, again, the distinction needs to be made is that the Oasi is not a van. It is a cutaway chassis on a van chassis with a big fiberglass thing put on top. It looks like an RV. Honey, I shrunk the RV into 17 feet and 8 inches, but there is no mistaking that is an RV. Cute as a button, cute as a Christmas present, and it gets all kinds of attraction, just like my van. This one even a little bit more, I would say. But if you want some of the flexibility, the small footprint of a van, Oasi has got to be something on your list. Now you're gonna be waiting a little while. Okay, let me flip forward, and I got to take some questions. Oh my God, it's already bottom of the hour. Okay, this is Oasi differences with a van, and this is my dream van. Y'all are gonna see. You may have seen this already. So again, this is the Oasi. Both back wheels are on the parking stop, so this is an exact comparison. Now I've got the angle a little different, so it's not quite fair, but you can see that my van sticks out quite a bit. It's at least 2 feet. So it's 21 feet on my van plus the bumper guard. So she hangs out. The rear ends actually were about the same at the parking stop on the back wheels, but on the front, it's vastly different. And wait until you see the video where we drive around in the Starbucks parking lot. I can tell you the Oasi was a dream to drive. So even more so than the Travado. All right. So we know about this. We've talked about this. It's kind of its pros and cons. Awesome little vehicle. It looks like an RV. You know, this looks like a van RV. But what I want to see the industry do is really take a look at improving the van camper experience. Now, if you haven't seen this, take a screenshot of that URL. It's Adria mobile-mobile.com. This comes out of Spain. I actually toured this a few years ago. We're going to do this video again. And this is what I want to see in a van, because you actually can't even get this in the Oasi. This is the front great room of this van. Now, does that floor plan look familiar to anybody? Yeah, it kind of looks like a 59G, old style. But look at the skylights. Oasi cool, but this is cooler, in my opinion, because of all of the light coming into the front great room. That's kind of looking in from the sliding door, which I discovered is absent in the Oasi, like duh. But the sliding door gives some opportunity to have a different experience. So I prefer it myself. So looking from the cab to the back, there's the screen door, letting in tremendous amounts of light or flying bugs. This is for sale. They've been selling these for years in Spain. There's kind of 2 bed options, well, 3 really, with 2 twin beds. I kind of like this idea. It's kind of the Revel idea, but no flare-outs. The Solus kind of implements this, but not a power bed. So imagine keeping your bedding on. It goes up. I probably like this implementation better. The Murphy bed. Now, this has been in the Pivot, the Solus, and a couple other van floor plans, but I really like this idea of the hallway, garage storage. I probably wouldn't put my bike inside. But you can see that it's a pretty different approach in a van. That's the difference here. And this is on the Ducati Fiat 3500 over there. Same thing that I got. This is the kitchen. So tell me it can't be done when they've been selling these things for years. Here's a reinvented galley. Winnebago could implement that immediately in the 59G. Look at the size of the fridge. You know, I mean, it's just, and wait for it. Have you seen this? This is the bathroom, which Road Trek just introduced in the Pivot. This has been floating around in Europe for years. It's the transformer bathroom. You swing that wall to on the left picture with the sink. You swing it to the right, to the left, and it covers the commode. Then you have a shower, then you put it back, and you have your sink again. In a van, like the Pivot. I mean, why can't all this be done? Right? So that's what I'm waiting for. The Oasi is cool if you like the extra room. But for me, this is where I think the manufacturers need to go, is this kind of place. So go to their website again. It's Oasi. It's Adria-mobile.com. You'll see this in real time. That's gonna be Sunday's video, is the relaunch of this. I'm gonna bookend it with some new content. Relaunch this because as cool as the Oasi is, it's not a van experience. This is a van experience. The Adria is a van experience. But is there any reason we have to have a crippled floor plan in a van experience? You know, I'm going to go off on Winnebago a little bit here. I mean, they put a ton of energy into the Winnebago Plush Adventure wagon thing when they could have been doing something like this. Now, the ERV2, you will not see a video from me about it, because this is where the energy needs to go, in my opinion. If you want to take the camper van world over in North America, do this. You don't have to build fiberglass shells or anything. Just redesign the interior. All right. A little emotional there. All right. Libation night, and then we're answering questions for the rest of the hour. So, again, these are just my impressions. They are, it's just top of mind with me because the Oasi is very different. We're going to, these are the next videos we've got coming up. We've got the galley coming out. So you'll see the great room on Friday, the galley probably on Tuesday-ish, then the bathroom, then the differences between the two, and then we did the driving park. So there's a few more weeks of this, and I just want to thank the Wingamm team for trusting us to give us access to that van like nobody else has ever had. And yeah, I got some really bad comments from folks saying, yeah, you didn't actually live in the van. You didn't take a poop in the van. You're right. I so badly wanted to, but it's a showroom model. So the plumbing's disabled, the AC is disabled, everything's disabled for safety reasons. Next time, we're just going to keep building a relationship with these folks, and that's the way we're going to roll. Hey, if you got something out there, give a thumb up. Just really appreciate everybody tonight. Let me do Libation Live because I am parched, and then we're answering questions for the rest of the half hour. So Libation Live. So one of the beauties of the van is my fridge is right here. And I take the liberty of opening it. And because we're talking about Wingamm, I'm actually spilling my water from the... Oh my God, hold on a second. I just dumped the water. Hang tight. Water on the floor. Safety hazard. Get your little triangle thing that says slippery when wet. All right, here we go. I think that'll do it. Something's good to get wet. I did get a free mug from him, though. All right. This might be the only time you see it, so take a good look. I don't got room for mugs. However, this is Red Wine by Summer Crush. kind of interesting. Florida doesn't grow grapes like most areas in the country because it's too hot. So they grow these kind of sweet variety of grapes. What's cool about this is I've actually added some, not Merlot, something else to kind of dampen the sweetness. But while it ferments, we put oak chips in it. So it's got a little bourbonish taste to it. This is kind of a cool area, really close to downtown Fort Pierce. So if you're coming to Harvest Host or to that area of the country, you want to hit them up. Cheers, everybody, to your health. By the way, I get paid nothing from Wingamm. They want to make that crystal clear. I am not getting a dime. I got a free coffee mug from Wingamm. So let me show this Harvest Host quick, and then we'll answer questions. This is the outside of the building. So cute. There's the inside. Pretty awesome. They do a $10 tasting. You get to taste like 10 different wines. It's pretty amazing. And then here I was working on the show from there, overlooking the vineyard today. Pretty amazing. I just love Harvest Host. If you're getting ready to buy, get in your van, or looking to do something different this year, 2023, get a Harvest Host membership. $225 all in. You kind of lock in the price forever. Go to my website, GoSmaltLiveLarge.com. Click on the More Essentials and sign up there. We get a few bucks. Certainly appreciate that. All right. So let's answer some questions, and then we'll say hi to a few folks, and then we will share a song of the week. We'll do it like that. Okay, so I'm let's see, off the questions here. So bear with me. I'm just going to scan for questions. Help me out with that. We got some kind of new names in here. So Tim Miller, I think we've seen you before. Good to see you, sir. Sherry Dolan, that might be a new one. Lyle, I think we've seen you from Crooked River State Park, Southern Georgia. Here's Simi G. Good to see you. ACA, how much lithium on the Wingamm? It's kind of a little bit of a TBD. They're working with a German company to put that together. It's a little bit of a work in motion. They're trying a different kind of a hybrid system, a lithium plus lead acid with the battery management system in the middle, and you can actually add a second lithium battery. So it kind of depends. I would encourage you to go to the wingamm.com website, and there's a configurator, and that will tell you what the options are currently, but that's probably going to be revamped February or March, I was told. Kathmandu, hi Scott, really enjoy the Wingamm coverage. Why was the Oasi so hot? I thought thermal insulation should have kept it neutral. Florida this time of year. It's a great question. So what Kathmandu is referring to is I was a sweaty mess for the first 20 minutes until my heart rate came down and my respiration came down, because they were literally decorating the van right up until 8:05. We went live at 8:10. I had to kick them out. I'm like, guys, the plates look fine. They even had me change my shirt because I didn't monochromatic stuff. So I'm like, So I was just a hot mess. There was no AC. We closed the windows because there was a noisy diesel truck. It was in a parking lot of a hotel. We didn't know when he was going to turn off. And to have the Fiat chassis AC blowing, you've heard this diesel droning, which is really annoying. From the chassis, one reason to have gas, right? It's just way more quiet. So I had no air conditioning in a stagnant room. So that's why until my respiration, everything got normal, I was a sweaty mess. So AC just didn't work because it's been disabled against a showroom model. Good question. Here, Mason Mike. I've been to that Harvest Host. Really nice spot. I really like the campsite there. The wines are a little too sweet for me. Yeah, I would agree. I'm not a big sweet wine. This one's not too bad. Much prefer bourbon, that's for sure. Let's see. Matt, thank you again for your super chat. Sherry, thank you for being here at NEW. I thought you were kind of a new. That's great. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. And let's see. Justin's got he and I got to spend some time together at the end of the super show, and he actually got to see the van. He didn't see the inside of my van when we did the camp out at my house last year. So Justin wants to know, were you able to drive the Oasi, and did it feel noticeably shorter than your Travado? Yes, it was stunning. Now, I'm a little confused. I need to get clarification from the Wingamm team on this. They say it's going to be on the Ram 3500 ProMaster chassis, but even cutaways, it's still 21 feet long. I don't know. And the wheelbase is going to be different because it's the wheelbase. While I don't know, there's just something that needs to be clarified there. But I can tell you that rig that I drove, which has a really short wheelbase, 17 feet and 8 inches long, it pivoted like a Miata on a racetrack compared to big old AMG sports car that I have. It was noticeably different. You'll see this hopefully in the video. We were in a Starbucks parking lot, super tight. I could have got my van in there, but it would have been a bit of an effort. I probably would have passed this because I don't like being in those kind of parking spots. It's just too close to everything. But I just whipped that little thing in there. I jumped out, and then this lady runs up on us, and she's like, "What the heck is that thing? I'm from Europe. That looks European." And I'm like, "Lady, you're so right. She want to see it inside. Wait till you see it. She is great." Melanie or Meline, something like that. You'll see her on the video. But yeah, it felt dramatically different. Speaking of dramatically different, let me tell you, the diesel, it is so slow out of the gate. I'm like, what is the deal? But that's kind of a diesel thing, isn't it? Doesn't Sprinter have the same issue? I'm just so used to the gasoline, man. If I need to hit it, I'm telling you, Lily, she gets some moves. She groans a little bit, but it was a very different drive feel, I would say, because the diesel this way and shorter that way, and you could feel it was wider. Roy said it's actually lighter in weight, but the tanks were full, so that makes maybe a little bit difference. But I could feel a difference in width. It's kind of weird to say, but I could definitely feel a difference. Thanks for asking. Dan wants to know, did Roy say where the demo 540 is going next? It's going to another show or back up to New Jersey. That's where they ship it. They don't drive it. Rebecca, Oasi question. Can a person sit in the front seats with the bed down? What's it like in the cab when the bed is down? They never show it. You'll see it. Well, you saw it in the bedroom video we just released. Was it last night? The video we're releasing on Friday is of the great room. So you want to see that video because we go all into the bed. And I can tell you that sitting in the front seats, meaning the cab seats, they don't need to be spun around for the bed to go down, but they need to be leaned back to so the bed can come down fully. So you probably cannot sit in the cab seats, and you really can't sit in the sofa either. Again, that was very apparent in the video we did. So when the bed is down, it's time to go to bed. But the nice thing is, if you can't sleep, just push the bed up, and literally in about the same amount of time it takes from my Murphy bed, you're done. So that's kind of the deal there. Great question. David wants to know, with the bed pushed up, how much headroom does it have? It's quite a bit. If you're in bed, you can sit. I could sit on my butt and not touch the ceiling with my head. We measured that. Again, David, I would encourage you to see that video we just released. It's a pink thumbnail. It says Oasi bed. I measure everything out of that bed space. So I can't remember the actual headroom with the bed down, but you cannot sit at the table. You can't walk around. You have to put the bed up. So if you've got somebody up there, you want to plan ahead and get everything you need and done before you go to bed. Otherwise, if it's just solo or somebody else doing something, you can just push the bed up, do your stuff, come back down. But when the bed's deployed, you're kind of done. Down and done is what I called it. April Dukes, yes, here. Hello, what's up, Wednesday, folks? She has 2 tickets with camping at the Florida Van Life meetup. Text me an email. She has a family situation she cannot attend. So if you have her information, you can reach out to her. Thank you, April, for offering that for folks. Sparks Guy, who is the manufacturer of the Wingamm hybrid battery system? A German company? Yes. Truma? No. Truma is on board at this point for the propane for heat and hot water, but that is not who is making the air conditioning nor the battery. If you go to Wingam's website, it might show it there, but we've shown that on a couple different occasions now. I'm building a resource page. I'm actually building a web page on my site for everything Wingamm. We kind of want to be the Wingamm experts because I think it's going to push the van builders into getting their rear in gear like the Adria. And I think that this could be a catalyst for that change. So watch for that. We'll put it there. Spark Sky might take a couple weeks. But I'm serious as a heart attack about this, because if you want a full motorhome experience in the size of a van or smaller, the Oasi's got to be on your list. Let's see, Rebecca. Oasi versus van question. How do you feel about not being able to open it up compared to vans with 3 huge doors that can open? That's kind of what I was alluding to, and that's a big deal about the van experience. You know, I can open this door. You saw the pictures earlier tonight. You can't do that in a Wingamm. Why? Because they've utilized that space for galley and bed and other things. So there's elements of that type of RV versus a van. It really causes one to think, why do you want to RV? How does a floor plan enable your why? How does an RV system enable your why? If you really can identify why you want to RV in a small footprint, I think you really need to sit down and think through and answer 3 to 5 things very specifically. Me, I want absolute freedom. Why? Because I want to park anywhere with my AC running in a vineyard or in a palm tree grove, just like I'm plugged into shore power. So that required a high-end lithium system. I didn't want a big RV. I wanted a van. Why? Because it's a van. It's got a coolness factor. It's small. It's nimble. So again, why enables starts everything running. It starts with why. And there's only one door. I mean, there's beautiful windows, one really huge, beautiful window in the cab, but it feels like a small class C, high end, but it's not a van for sure. Good question. Chris, good question here. How was the noise insulation from the rain or a wind or people? It's a funny question. Great question. Thank you, Chris, for asking. I would say the sound insulation of the body was amazing. There's 2 gotchas in any RV. One can be minimized to a degree, and that's the windows, the glass, and the cab. Now, there was an actual track around the cab that you could run a curtain around, like on a curtain, like a shower curtain thing, all the way around. And if you put a sound light deadening curtain up there, it would help with the sound. But the glass transfers a lot of noise pretty readily. It's single pane glass. The other thing that's always the Achilles heel in the van is that would be the Max Air fan, because there is a single piece of plastic covering up a hole that's probably what Roger knows for sure, 18 by 18, that lets everything in and out. Noise, light. So as the rain's kind of hitting that, and this had actually 2, a skylight and the Max Air fan thing, which I think put out more noise, as always does, because it's a single little piece of plastic covering a big old hole. Now you can put on, some of the things like man-made gear or something like that. Help insulate a little bit, keep the light out, and maybe the noise, but that probably was the noisy spot for the rain. And the 3 dudes decided to park next to me, and that's what woke me up at 3 a.m, which is probably a good thing. I would have run out of time. But they're sitting there drinking, smoking, playing music, and I'm like, dudes, I'm trying to get some sleep in here. They're like, oh my God, somebody's in here. But I probably would have heard them less without that thing up there. It's not really a Wingamm thing. It's just an RV thing. But the rest of it was bulletproof. It didn't squeak when we drove it. It sounded different. It felt different. There was no tinniness, none of that. This thing felt like a bank vault. Pretty amazing. Catmandu, I'm curious what the spacing is between the Travato bedroom and the cabinets. You have a similar measurement from the Oasi when you measure the bed width. I bet that contributes to the feel of space. I'm curious what the spacing is in the Travato between the cabinets and the bed. Are you talking about? I can barely reach it. It's probably, I don't know, less than 2.5 feet maybe. So, yeah, 2.5 feet. It's you couldn't touch the ceiling laying in bed. You could touch the cabinet in the Oasi bed, but you couldn't touch the ceiling. I can touch the bottom of my cabinets because they're pretty close to me. I can't touch the ceiling of the van laying in my Travato bed. Is that what you mean? And certainly in the second floor bed, as I called it, the sense of space around you it feels like you're in a loft apartment. It was probably the coolest bed I've ever been in. I won't say ever, but I mean, it was so surreal. And I mentioned, didn't wiggle. If I was bouncing around in bed, I was trying it out. The van moved, but the bed didn't. It was really unbelievable. Yes, Donald has awning windows, 2 of them. One huge one over the sofa, huge, and then one in the bathroom. The one over the galley is side by side, but it's dual pane. They're all dual pane. Mason Mike, after watching your night over in the Wingamm Oasi, it came to me, seems that more like an Airbnb on wheels. I really like the modern, clean interior and residential style bathroom. Yeah, the bathroom is just over the top. It's probably the best bathroom, even more so than the Adria because it's just more spacious. It's got a cassette toilet, which, we've got to get these manufacturers to, I'm trying to think of a way to do that I'm going to do a comparison on. Wet flush, wet tank versus cassette toilet. But yes, it felt very residential. It felt like an apartment on wheels. It was so stunning. Good to see you, sir. Road to life. Yeah, that's a good point here. Just me. Granted, no van is perfect for a family with a high energy dog, but seems that this one would be for a dog to run around in for sure. Am I accurate or the photos misleading? I would say not misleading, but if you have a big dog or have a need it for a crate, there is no garage storage on the inside. That's a huge benefit to this floor plan that I have. The Murphy bed goes down, but I still have this ginormous multi-foot cubic space for a dog or a crate, litter box. Even with the bed down, there is not really one of those here. You could park it back by the door so you can get into the bathroom, but it'd have to be a pretty small situation, but a lot of room for the dog for sure. Way more floor space overall. Huge couch. Good question. How are we doing on time? A few more minutes. Justin got a good question here. Any confirmation on the inverter? The bugs are going crazy in here. I think at some point 1000 watt. They did say that has changed. I think 3000 is the number. They sent me an FAQ info sheet, so we're going to try and get some of this out into the ether. Check their website also, but they've upped that game, is my understanding. Mason Mike, that bed is a game changer. Just love the pull down and jump in and out you go. Yeah, it's just like our Murphy beds. Mason Mike has the same floor plan in the back that I have, and my bed goes down in 6 seconds and it goes up in about 9 seconds. Leave your bedding on. I mean, it's just, and the bed is invisible when the bed is up. You never even know it's there. You should have seen the look on the realtor's face at the Starbucks when I said, pull down on that thing. And she's like, she was kind of on the smaller size. She pulled it down. She's like, she came unglued. It was unbelievable. Yes, Catman, dude, you can sit up in bed for sure. A few more here. Sherry says, I'm concerned the 12-volt AC being able to keep the rig cool while boondocking. Your thoughts? Also, can 2 passengers really fit in those seats in the dining room? Doesn't look possible. Yeah, you'll see in the Great Room video coming out on Friday, you can get easily 4 people, maybe in a 5th with somebody using the driver's seat. So getting people around the table, not an issue. The electrical and the AC, we need to get a little more information from them. This is kind of a fluid situation, but I don't think thermal dynamics are going to be a problem. It's going to be a heck of a lot more insulated than this thing, my van, because the walls are about that thick. So it's the AC, the electrical system. So there's some work to be done there for sure. Wasn't able to try any of it because I was sweating to death. Roads of Life. Serious question. Will this Oasi replace Lily? No. Short answer is no. I like the van experience. What I want is the Adria. Maybe we can get an investor group together and get a bunch of ProMasters, because that's what it's built on, and we can build Adria lookalikes. I'm totally into copying that with a Volta system and a wet flush toilet. So, I thought about it. I spent a lot of time in that rig, in all seriousness, Roads of Life, and if it had a Volta system, and if it had a regular RV toilet, And if I lifted it, and if I wrapped it, and if I made it tougher looking, because it's so damn cute, you just want to, make love to it. I need something a little more tough, maybe. And it would be a very compelling rig. It'd be a very different way to travel. I'm just so accustomed to my 4 living spaces in this van. But we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. But no, I'm now if there's an Adria on a lot with a regular toilet and Volt option, I'm spending cash tomorrow. Benjamin, did I catch this earlier? I think I did, didn't I? Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going to a few more minutes here, and then we're going to call it a wrap. This is a great point here. Mesa Mike has, I wish it would be a great van for Southern Utah, laying in bed and seeing the stars perfectly with no light pollution. It was hard to simulate that with the parking lot light, but it kind of gives you the idea. And I love sleeping, in moonlight. And I can get that because I don't cover my cargo windows or my side window very often if I'm in a place that allows for that. But imagine sitting here on the full moon. You got big skylight here, big skylight where the pizza oven thing is, right? More storage. I'll take a skylight to show that kind of stuff off all the time. So you're right. Let's see. Bill and Joey gave you this, right? So thank you for that. Appreciate that. You guys are super generous. 59K. Hey, choose the floor plan that works best for you. But I'm serious as a heart attack. If the reason you chose a 59K or similar floor plan, galley, bed, bathroom and back, you need to think carefully about the Wingamm Oasi because it probably gives you a lot of what you want without traveling in your bedroom. Great question. BB. Hello, Scott. Considering the size of your Travado G tanks, how long can you go before needing to dump your black and filling your water tank? So my black tank usually fills first because I use my toilet for everything. I go park at the Planet Fitness. I do my business in the toilet here, and then I go in and work out and shower. I just like having my private toilet. It's so nice. So typically I get 5 to 7 days of the single tank. And the gray is 11 and the black is 12, or it's vice versa. I can never remember. But the gray is the one that fills the slowest, unless I'm showering in the van, which I do pretty regular. The fresh water I monitor, and if I get to about a half tank, I'm not sure where I'm going to be next. I would fill the fresh water tank just to make sure it's there. But now there's 2 of it. You can probably divide it in half. You can get a lot more time without emptying by minimizing the use of the toilet. And so I actually went for the Super Show, I think it was Thursday through the next Friday or Saturday. I'd have to count the days. It was my longest probably ever. And I was actually using the Planet Fitness for some of the other business. And that doesn't happen very often because I was really maximizing that tank. But hopefully that helps. Good question. Okay, let me just show a couple things here. We're going to part with some of the hello to the regulars. So I just want to get this out for everybody tonight. But let me share the song of the week. We got guests coming up. We got Road Track. We got so much going on. Our Luckenbach, Texas is sold out, which is amazing. We're going to do more of these, a lot more, because I just love those so much. We're going to have so much fun at the Florida Van Life Gathering. Cheers, everybody. My Wingamm glass. Take a good look. That's all I got for doing all that work, other than your love and admiration and the experience, which is the whole point to share with you. But this is probably going to be in the Goodwill pile. But thank you, Wingamm, guys. Just don't have room for it. But it's hard to say no to a free cup. All right, so let me share the song of the week. This comes from Mesa Mike. I'm not sure I like this song, Mesa Mike. I listened to it a few times, but to your honor, I do this. So the artist is Aaron Lewis. Get What You Get. He said it kind of is cowboy related, and it kind of is. It's kind of a sow and reap message in the song lyrics. So this is the 4th album this guy's put out, 4th country western album. This came out about a year ago. He got criticized on a few of these songs, including this one. I'll zoom in here for you. By country music you know, like magazine journalist type thing, saying the songs are fairly judgmental, and they kind of are. That's one in particular. I'm not familiar with the band Stained, but he is or was, still is a member of that band. But he went solo on these 4 country albums. Give it a listen to. Let me know what you think. The more I listened to it, it was kind of a sowing and reaping message, which I completely buy into those. It was a good song, so thank you. If you have a van tip or you have a song of the week or something like that, GSLL viewer recommendation at gmail.com is where you can send those to. Okay, let's do a few more questions and we'll call this a wrap for tonight. What a great session tonight. So Pamela's got a good question here. Is it true that the Oasi is 4-season? Yes, 100%. So it has tanks outside, but they are heated and insulated. And no doubt that the cassette situation is inside the vehicle, and in the storage compartment, and insulation no doubt will exceed. It'll be as good as a leisure travel van, or even CRV, something like that, where it's a fiberglass shell on a chassis body. So yes. Catmandu. Yeah, price of the Winnebago Adventure wagon partnership. I heard that the MSRP was like $176,000. Even if you lop off, I don't know, pick a number, 40 grand, 136,000 for a kind of an empty cargo van. I admire them for doing something different, trying something, doing some new partnerships, but there was nothing in the van, almost literally. I just would rather see them. I met some new contacts there and kept my old ones alive. So I'm going to go back and see if I can get some time with the guy that's kind of in charge of the Travado program and really sit them down and see if I can help them, because that's what I'm here to do. Yeah, it was pretty eye-popping. Do we have trolls in here tonight? Screw the trolls, Scott. Thank you, Mason Mike. I appreciate that. I didn't see anybody in here. There was some guy last week that was good. So I just bounced him. Let's see. So Roads of Life kind of talked about this. The battery power is a little, they probably know off the top of their head, it's a little in flux. They're going to use a lead acid plus lithium system. Comes out of Germany. You have 2 lithium batteries. I don't remember the specs. I'm going to find those and put them in all the video notes. And we're going to build a web page with some of that stuff so you can see it there. But best place to go is their website. Water is inside. I don't want to misspeak. I did ask, and we talk about in the driving and parking video, and Roy from Wingamm tells us exactly the tank sizes, where they're placed. They are insulated and heated. I know that for sure. Lori wants to know, what's the price of your Adria Dream van from Geneva, Illinois? Hi, Lori. So when I was there and recorded that video, it was a few years ago, it was like $65,000 US. Now, it doesn't have lithium, doesn't have air conditioning, but if that thing could be sold over here for 140 grand, all in with a real lithium system, it'd be like the Panoramic, which is kind of the closest-ish thing out of Canada. They couldn't build them fast enough. Why? Because it answers so many things. I'd even pay more just because it would hit all the boxes, right? Marlena's been here too. Summer Crush Harvest Host. From Carbon Camping has free dumping. Good point with your SAM membership. That's exactly right. Giles wants to know, hi Scott, what do you think about the engine on the Wingamm? It was the Fiat diesel. Didn't like it. Was like most diesels, pretty noisy to idle, pretty noisy to drive, completely gutless from the stoplight. I'm not sure about being underpowered, but from pressing on the pedal of this van, 8,600 pounds, Lily kind of gets up and moves. She might make a little noise about it, but she can get off the start pretty quick. That thing was like, I was trying to be soft on it, I'll be honest. But that is not what's going to be on the unit that's sold. So it's going to be the Round ProMaster gasoline engine that we all know and love, made in Mexico, over to Italy to the US. So it'll be an experience very much like this, which I think it's going to be great. Okay, a couple more, then we'll call it a night. And we got a lot of folks in here. This is just a great, I'm just having so much fun. Lyle, good question here. Is the bathroom access with the bed down? 100%. 100%. David's got a question. So it kind of goes back to how are you using the toilet? Sleeps 4, but how long will a cassette toilet last with 4 people using it? Now, one thing that Wingamm likes to talk about is you can have different cassettes in the storage unit by the back bumper. So you can have like 2 or 3, one in the unit, one in the toilet, 2 or 3 in the back. That's a lot of stuff to empty. It's a cassette, love them or hate them. You have to deal with the waste somehow. I just prefer goes down the toilet, put the hose in the sewer hole, pull the handle. It's over in 8 seconds. I never see it, smell it. Shaking it out in the toilet. Times 3 or 4 cartridges. I'll probably have to get a gas mask because I'm using it. That's what it's, Even like tonight, this place, they close their gates. There's no restrooms. If you got to use a bowel movement at 4 in the morning or 8 in the morning before you can get out of here, where are you going? Just saying, right? Some of you are way stronger than me. Thank you, Sherry, for clarifying. Sorry, I wasn't clear the previous question. Can 2 people fit as passengers with seatbelts on for travel? Looks cramped. Yes, you can. In the video we post on Friday night, you will see that very clearly. The way it works is there's 2 seats. They're frontward facing 3-point seatbelts. There's this magic little trap door that the person against the wall uses to put their feet. I did not know it existed until we started spending time in the van, or the Oasi, which was the whole point. So you'll see that very clearly. So cramped. I mean, it's no more cramped than what I got, 2 people sitting on this bench seat, but you can definitely do it. Travel 4, 3-point seatbelts, sleep 4, and a rig that's 17 feet 8 inches. It's pretty amazing. Okay. So let's say quick ones here. So Tars View wants to know, you've seen the 540 in person. Hope you've seen the 610 pictures. Kind of have. Do you have any opinions? No, because I've been spending all my time on the 540, so I could be as knowledgeable about it. Stay tuned. Donna wants to know how big is the capacity of cassette toilet. I think it's 5 gallons. 5 gallons. All right, folks, we're going to call a wrap. Great group tonight. We'll see you next Wednesday. We may or may not have a guest next Wednesday. Livermore Camper Vans, I think somebody's not feeling well, and they're going to be at the event the following week, so they want to be 100% for that. So it may be just me next week. Oasi, great room video on Friday. We're going to do the Adria video on Sunday. If you're not subscribed to the channel, man, you don't know what you're missing. We're putting out a lot of content. We've got the grill video coming up. We've got so many, got so much. I'm just having a ball. It's just been a real crazy week with the Super Show and the Oasi thing. It was just amazing. So with that, we'll say thank you very much. Cheers to your health. Thank you again to the Wingamm team getting us access to that van. I may close out with a shot of bourbon tonight. This is on the sweet side. Not bad, though. All right, folks. So thank you very much. We'll see you soon on the small screen. And until we do, we say journey on and